Azamat Murzakanov.
Yeah, Azamat Murzakanov.
All right.
I think I can get a job. Maybe like Bruce Buffer is going to retirement soon. No, joking about that. Like how you're making like an intro for our for our shows. I'm afraid I'm gonna lose you. Like now, like soon enough, Bruce Buffer is going to retirement. Maybe
I
that's something
mean,
new that you can
we'll
look into.
see. I like dressing up. I like wearing suits. So if I can get that gig just for the suits alone, I'm taking it. Sorry, Alex.
I want tickets at least. Don't
Yeah,
forget
no,
that.
I got you. I got you. All right, we got Devin Clark versus Azamat Murkazanov. All right, so who you got in this one, Alex?
Yeah, this is really interesting one. Let's break it a little bit more. But let's first break Asmat's picture. He looks like from, obituaries. When you like, why did you put him in the
What
cover?
happened with this? Where do you get this pick, Alex?
That's from UFC Pass website. So they at least, I don't know why they don't like him. No, I'm kidding. That's probably like from Dana White Contender Series, and they don't have
Right, right, right.
still in the color one. That's why they put him like this. He looks scary. Black and white makes him even scarier than he is. And
Right.
he's only 33, but he looks like at least 43.
I mean, it's like how do you kill this guy? He already looks dead. Like that is scary.
I
You
don't
know.
know. That's on Devin to try to figure it out.
All right. We
Talking
get
about
what's up?
talking about that, like this is really interesting one. Like this is right, one of the fights that really pumped me up for this weekend. Like we have undefeated guy
Yes.
who is like in the Russian hand fighting, or how they call it, rukopashny boy. Rukopashny boy. That's like some
Never heard
system.
of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna research. I heard for it many times. Like he's master of rukopashny boy. That's how they call it. That's like from Russian militaries. Like they're like same like you have for Israeli Krav Maga. That's much more popular.
Okay.
They have that.
So
And
this guy's actually killed somebody, probably.
I don't know. He looks like he did. I don't know. Like if you see
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
um, I watched his fight even before the UFC, and I'm really impressed by him. Like he has like a crazy power. He goes from the southpaw. He's jumping like he can he reminds a little bit by the build and by the movement, like Fedor. Like he's
Oh, okay.
hopping all the time. Like he's like lighter weights.
Yeah.
And he's really good in like moving in and out, pushing forward. Like what I really like he's keeping the distance, and then he's moving one step in, and then like how to say, he's cutting the angle exactly with the leg, like he's trying to be on the outside so he can put the full power. And talking about the power, like he finished all his fight in the first, no, he had two decisions, I think, and every other fight he finished in the except of his last one, and we're gonna talk about that now a little bit more. He finished in the first round. Only
Mhm.
his last fight against Nuchkvi. How would you read his last name? Sorry, I didn't prepare for his last name, so that's a mystery for me. Like
We'll
he
never
was,
know because Bruce Buffer is not calling his name, so who knows?
yeah. Like I need to hear, but like he lost that. He was losing that fight, and then he finished it like I with amazing like a flying knee or knee, whatever it was that. Um, so he showed like something that he can even like explode and put that power in later rounds, especially like he was losing that fight in my opinion. So it was like for him that he has to finish, and he showed that he can do that.
Mhm.
That's about him, like I think he's like really interesting guy that it's gonna be something that we should follow in that category, especially like the movement, like I said, cutting the angles and power in his hands. It's like really like top notch. But now talking about Devin Clark, like that's really interesting. Like I went a little bit back over his fights, and more or less that I was rewatching all like those like 4 or 5 fights. I don't know how he managed like with that like similar style. He just not hopping. He's like marching forward. He have like that big legs, like tree trunks that make him really like to launch in his punches, and he almost put everybody to ass. But like he's not finishing the fights, and that's something that's really for me that made me to pay attention. Like I'm like, what's going on here? Like he's like putting guys down, but he's not like not called KO. And then the
Right.
guys managed to return. Something is really interesting. And now when he moved to heavyweight, like he did like right away, he KO'd the guy. You
Hmm.
know, so I'm thinking maybe like, and I was watching back like he fought against the guy that I trained back in Serbia with Darko. Um, and even I think he put Darko on his ass in the first minute of that fight. And what came to my mind is like Darko had a problem. Like even now, Darko is fighting in KSW in heavyweight, and he's small heavyweight. But
Hmm.
though those cuts, even I don't think it was that big cut for him mentally. He couldn't deal with. Like he was feeling like he's losing his power. So I was thinking maybe the same thing is happening with this guy. That weight cuts, like I don't know, maybe even really take away. Maybe it's just mental. But like, come on, you move for a heavyweight for one fight for excursion, and you KO solid guy. And in the light heavyweight, he's just like not managing to finish guys, and that was really like interesting for me. I think he didn't have like a win uh, by the finish for like since 2016. Sorry, I had to go through the stats. And
That's fine. And he does have the second lowest finish rate on this card. But that's interesting. I didn't catch that he actually his last knockout, his last fight was the first knockout in a while, but it's after he moved up in weight. So it's not unheard of that we've seen fighters, say fuck the weight cut, I'm going to just move up in weight and they actually have success. So Devin Clark's one of those guys like we're talking about Ankalaev, like he doesn't have that X factor, right? Like if you look at his record, if you look at a highlight, I mean, is there the highlight? He doesn't have a lot of finishes, but I mean, it could be interesting going
like
into
sorry to interrupt you. You know what's his X factor? His
what's that?
father in the corner. I don't know. Did you have the opportunity to hear? Like it's hilarious. Like
What's
he,
his dad on?
I
What's
don't
his
know. Like, but his dad is screaming so crazy. Like he's like I don't know which fight. Imagine like you have your dad in the corner. You're getting your ass beaten up, and he's like, get up. He have really like a
uh,
interesting voice, and like he's so loud. Like that's Devin X Factor. Like if you have to.
bro? They'll never fight, but have you heard? That just reminds me of Eddie Alvarez's wife. Have you heard her during the fights?
No,
Like they don't even have a microphone on her, and you can fucking hear her saying Eddie, Eddie, and it's like, yo, that's crazy. So I would just like to see his dad versus Eddie Alvarez's wife just cornering against each other.
let's go.
But
Let's try
yeah,
to force it to UFC. Make that make that match.
we'll
That
find
would
a
be.
way.
Yeah, sorry,
But
brother. Continue.
yeah, I mean he's lacking that X factor, but then again, like this he's going into the heavyweight division. Maybe that could kind of rejuvenate him and get him some finishes. But we're looking at a fighter that's undefeated. He's Russian, which I think right now Russians are freaking, they're killing it in MMA. And one interesting thing is like if you look at the bouts that he's had in the UFC, Azamat, he's only had one, but he's actually had three fights before that scheduled. So I mean, why are these fights getting canceled? It's not because of Azamat. Like people are just pulling out on this guy, and it makes me wonder. Like, man, are people scared to fight this guy? He's undefeated. He has a pretty high finish rate. If Devin Clark shows up this weekend, I think he's going to be another one of those guys just adding to his, his TKOs, his KOs. But man, that is interesting having that last fight coming off a finish finally. So maybe he has a little bit more confidence. I just think Azamat, we're gonna see a lot more of him, especially in this heavyweight division where it's kind of like anybody could take it.
Yeah. What I wanted to say, and also like what I was thinking, like what Asmat is doing, that like bouncing, going up and down, and I think like, and Devin likes to like charge,
Mm.
and I think like really easily we can see like a brutal KO by Devin charging and Asmat just being like, how to say, on top of it and just like clip him, like similar what I watched, I think one of his first fights back from Russia in the ring, and I was like, because I couldn't find too much material about him, and I got interesting and I was like digging deeper. uh, I think I can see that, like, because like Devin likes to charge in. Will he go for a takedown or will he go like for those looping or charging like straight shots? And I think he can like, especially like Asmat is like a southpaw, so I think he can catch him on the entrance, and then it's gonna be super bad KO. So that's the option that I see. And also talking about Asmat, he fought against Andre Muniz, and that was I think the last, and he KO'd him in the first round pretty easily. Even though Andre now moved to middleweight, but still after that fight, Andre Muniz is undefeated. I think 5-0 in UFC and 3-0 in different organizations. So basically, after Asmat is 8-0, so that's saying also about the level that Asmat is, even though let's say the guy moved to middleweight and Asmat stayed in light heavyweight. So
Yeah, so I just had to double check. So I thought this was at light heavyweight, and it looks like Devin Clark, he went to heavyweight for his last fight, but
he
this is
came back.
again light heavyweight. So fuck, man. Like if Devin Clark felt strong at heavyweight, like he might not have that strength advantage anymore at
Yeah,
light
that's
heavyweight.
what I was talking.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't hear it when you said when you thought it's a heavyweight. No, no,
mhm,
no, it's light heavyweight. He just like had like an excursion
yeah,
to heavyweight. He just like went up, and I don't know like why he didn't stay there.
right. But that's pretty cool that like Azamat, like you're saying, like he kind of reminds you of Fedor, and I agree. But like speaking of Fedor, Fedor probably could have fought at like light heavyweight or middleweight even if he just shed a little bit of weight. But yeah, to see those big guys kind of just move like that, and Fedor he was the goat. So big guys that can move, that's a dangerous combination because they already have the power. You add speed and angles and movement, like that's dangerous. So I think even more so now I'm picking Azamat versus Devin Clark, like Azamat to win by TKO.
Yeah, I agree. KO, TKO, and maybe even in the first round. And it's not bad. It's like minus 150. I can live with that.
Really?
Yeah,
Even being undefeated, that's actually surprising to me. I would think he'd
yeah.
be a bigger favorite.
Yeah, no, I think the Devin Clark is plus 130, so just like slight underdog,
Hmm.
but like also that's saying like how underrated. Like I think like he has some curse, like or maybe like that with the that like he managed to put all guys out. I think he put even
Yeah,
Blachowicz to his ass,
yeah,
and just like he doesn't have enough power to put you right away to sleep, and then like he doesn't know how to smartly finish the fight. Like he goes down. I didn't even do the break, like a super detailed breakdown, like what exactly, like I didn't go like, but I see something is off because like I said, I was watching like 4 or 5 fights. He put everybody on the ass. He put Rakic on the ass, like at the beginning, like I think even twice, and then he
mhm,
end up finished. Like going back again to the Serbian that he fought. he fought two Serbians. Like, how I can like him, you know?
I mean, like that's the thing is like he does well even against the top 10. I don't know if Rakic was top 10 when they were fighting at the time, but I mean Rakic is top 10 now. Maybe even top 5. So he's fought a lot of like high caliber guys. He just hasn't been able to get the W against them. So this will be an interesting test to see where Azamat is. Like, of course, he's undefeated. He doesn't have a lot of UFC experience, but if Devin Clark, if he loses to Azamat, that's saying a lot, I think, to where Azamat weighs in like in this division at 205.
Yeah, I agree. This is the biggest test for him. Okay, so we agree both on this one. We have Asmat, maybe even
Yep.
first round KO, TKO.
Yeah, and he's a favorite, but like you said, like the odds are not too bad. Like even though he's a favorite, you might want to put some money on this guy.
No, minus 150 is pretty solid.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
I'm good with that.